Welcome to INAN's Student. INAN Student is a platform for law students to come here and deliver a lecture on the topic of their choice. Today we have with us law student Rinku Shah. She is going to speak on the Right to Information Act 2005. She is from Shri KES Jayantilal H. Patel College of Law. So without wasting further time, I would request Rinku to commence with her lecture. Thank you.
जिंदगी की जंग खुद के बलबूते पर जीती जाती है, दूसरों के कंधों पे रखकर बंदूक वो जंग जीती नहीं जाती. So hi everyone and my dear friends, this is Rinku Shah here. Very warm welcome to all of you. In today's sessions, we are going to discuss about the Right to Information Act, which is known as the RTI Act 2005, which is popularly known as. You're aware about these things, right? So before starting of this RTI Act, we will going to discuss in the discrete manner the definitions, meanings, its conclusions, case laws, and everything and so on. Before starting it, I would like to say that you all are aware about that we have the Indian democracy and we have the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, right? So we all are aware. So we are the common people and we have every right to seek the information from the government for which this decision has been taken by them, and what are the justification they are going to provide, that one is also our right to know about this. And so for this reason the RTI Act came in the picture and they have provided us the rights to the citizens to know about and they access the information from the government as well. So this is about this short description about this. Now moving ahead, RTI Act 2005, very landmark legislation in Indian independent India, which ensures about the government accountability and the good governance, right? So now as we discussed earlier, that we would like to discuss about the historical journey of the RTI Act 2005. So before RTI 2005, there was a fundamental right about the right to information, which is a part of our fundamental right and enshrined under the Article 19(1)(a), which is everyone knows about it. What it states? It states that every citizen has a right of freedom and speech. We will discuss about more in detail about taking the one landmark case laws. That is, in 1976, there is a case of the Raj Naren versus State of Uttar Pradesh. The Supreme Court ruled that right of information will become the fundamental right under the Article 90 of the Indian Constitution. Further, he ruled out, Supreme Court held that the right to know about the Indian, every citizen has a right to know about the working of the government as they have the right, and thus why the Supreme Court ruled that decision, because we have the Indian democracy and the people are masters over here. So they have the right about the know the working of the government. And so this becomes the fundamental right under the Article 19. This act further replaced the Information Act 2002, and it is a replaced RTI Act and becomes a very strong. It is one thing here to be noted that once you are exercising your right of expression and speech, one must consider about possessing the information. So it's very simple. If you are not aware about the information, how could you express yourself? How could you speak on some certain matters of the issue, right? So it is very important to know about the information. Further, RTI Act for this region strictly mandates the reply to the citizen in a time-bound period for the citizen's request for the government information, which is under the fundamental right enshrined under Article 19. Okay. Now moving towards these RTI Act, a brief introduction, that its enforceability, how it came into the force. Let us discuss on this one. RTI Act basically, bill has been passed in the year 2005 in the Lok Sabha. That is approximately on 11th May 2005, and by the consent of the President, in the June 2005, bill came into the force on 12th October 2005, and it came into the force as a Right to Information Act 2005. Here I just want to share one general knowledge with you that the point may be coming to our mind that who has filed the RTI first. So I want to share that person's name, that Shahid Raza was the first person who has filed the RTI in India to a police station in. So this is like it is a reminder point. Just take into the consideration that. Now we will discuss on the definition, what the exactly meaning of the RTI. Now let us discuss on this. So RTI includes to inspect the records, works, printing notes and the documents in the form of printouts, video cassettes and other electronic mode, which is now more popular. The electronic mode now the people are preferring on by communicating on the electronic mode only. And this RTI Act, why it came into the force, it has certain objectives. So what are those objectives? Let us discuss. It empowers the citizen, it helps the citizens to know about the knowledge about the working of the government. Third, it reduces the corruption. Because see, when the public authority knows that they are answerable to in all segments, whenever the question comes or whenever the inquiry comes toward them, so it will reduce the corruption. And lastly, to promote the environment in a very transparently manner and the accountable government. So this is the objective. See, my dear friends, the two components are very important in the Right to Information Act. One is the citizen and one is the public authority. So these are the very important components. So what are the public authorities? Let's see that. The public authority is the body or the institution or any other authorities which is self-government or any private institution which is directly or indirectly funded by the government. So this is a public authority. And my dear friends, this public authority has a very obligations to fulfill this RTI Act. They are liable to certain duties for that. So these are the obligations we will going to discuss one by one. First, these public authorities or the officials are bound to maintain all the records under the RTI Act. Secondly, all the public official has to publish the information in the under the RTI Act within the 120 days of enactment of this Act. How? So say for example, particulars of functions, duties, powers, officer's name, officer's designations, so on, etc. And most important, whenever any important policy formulated by those government, they has to publish this information with the relevant facts. Because we are aware about these things that certain informations are there which is not available in the public domain. So we have to approach, but obviously platform. So this idea is a platform and we will get those information. So this is about the obligations on the part of the official duties. Secondly, this public authority is known as a PIO, that is a Public Information Officer, and we are usually call them the PIO. So here the central government, state government are bound to provide the resolution or provide the necessary information to the applicant who has filed the article. Okay? So this we have seen about the definitions, meanings, about the briefs. Now moving towards how the RTI will be filed. A very brief and a very easy concept. Just go onto the web portal of the RTI. Here you have to submit your request or the application to the ministry or the government department of the Government of India and just click on the submit button. You will might be show the entire page, and that on that page you need to fill up the entire details. With the entire details, you be very careful that what are you thinking to get those information, you need to put the entire details, right? And by paying the fees of very nominal of ₹10 and then click it, it's done. So this is about a very easy process of online RTI application, right? So there is another provision that we citizens are paying the ₹10 of the fees, but those people who are under the poverty line, they don't have to pay any fees. So these are the privilege for the people below the poverty line. Now, after application, the role of the PIO comes into the picture. Once the application is filed by the citizen, then within the 30 days, the PIO is bound to give the process, to give the information about the relevant facts to the citizens. And second thing, if any person has a life and death issues of the related concerned person, then they are bound to give the information within the 48 hours. Further, within the 40 days, they will issue the information to the applicant if that information, that applicant wants to seek that information for the third person. That is belonging to third party, so they will might be take some time. So instead of 30 days, they will provide information into the 40 days. So these are the role of the PIOs. My dear friends, we have discussed about the RTI Act, procedure, objectives and so on. Here are the certain exemptions where the we citizens cannot seek the information. So what are those matters? Take into the consideration. First, national security. Second, trade and commerce. Third, the information, foreign information which is given to the Indian government. Any cases, investigation process is going on, that information cannot be shared with. Third one is any scientific or the economic interest. So these are some points of the exemptions that you cannot get the information about that on the online platform of the RTI. Fine. This act, any which way, all the acts are in India, we all are aware about that. There are the certain amendments every time it happens. So here also in the RTI Act, the amendment done in the 2019, and what are those amendments? I'm just giving you one two facts only. That was the amendment regarding the terms of the office. That is the duration of the office of the public authority. And second, the quantum of the salary decided by the central government. So the central government come into the picture and take the more force than the state government. So this is some of the amendments in the RTI Act 2005. Here I want to share something that we all aware about this, the public authority, right? There are certain private institutions, say for example, any citizens wants to information about the private institutions, then what? So there are the other certain conditions through which platform he can seek the information of that private institution. So how? Let us understand by one example. Say for example, you want to file the RTI to the private school. Now this is the private school. You cannot file the RTI directly to the school, right? So you need to file the RTI to those government authorities under which that school is registered. So that is indirectly. So you may get that relevant information for that particular school if you want. So this is the criteria, or this is the certain conditions you will get those information. Further, I would like to share you that this RTI Act is very beautiful. In the entire world, the Sweden was only first country who introduced the Right to Information Act to its citizen. That is also without no fees. So that is again the matter of the general knowledge. This is I would like to share you. Further describing all these things, I want to move ahead with the certain criticisms and the challenges of the RTI Act. So let us discuss about the criticism. First criticism is that I would like to share you that it is one of the main backdrop or the main drawback of this act is regarding the poor records in the bureaucracy, and which results into the file missing. Every time we heard that file was missing, this file was missing. So this is a major problem. Second, again, misuse of the RTI Act. People may misuse this act. Second, lack of the staffing. There is a shortage of the staff running the information commission every time, so that the citizen are not getting the information in time, and further it heads into the disposal of cases, and the long time the cases will running, and we citizens are not getting those information in time. Lastly, there are certain supplementary laws like the Whistleblowers Act, which are the diluted, and this reduces the effect of the RTI Act. So these are the supplementary laws, and it would creates a havoc for that, and we face the criticism, we face the challenges for it. So this is about the criticism we have right now discussed. Now, what are the challenges? So what are the challenges in the RTI Act? First, as we all aware about that, because of the illiteracy and unawareness among the majority population among the India, this RTI Act or the Right to Information Act is not possible to exercise in the well manner. Second thing, though the objective of the RTI is not aimed to create the redressal government mechanism, but certain times or the many often times the commission notices to the authorities and they are induces to redressal those government. That's it. This is the challenges we are facing for the Right to Information Act. Lastly, I just would like to say that these are the certain points we have discussed about the Right to Information Act. But my dear students or my dear colleagues or my dear friends, this is very important to know the structure of the entire RTI Act. Though we know that there are the certain criticisms, certain challenges, but it acts very beautifully because it helps a lot many citizens what in accounts of. It relates to getting the passports, birth certificates, ration cards as well. So they are getting the information from this platform by paying only ₹10. That's so cheap. So we cannot blame the system of that, right? So this is the RTI. And on a concluding session, I would like to narrate 2-3 points that Right to Information Act again made for the social justice, transparency, and the government accountability which we want. So here, 2 points are taken very carefully: accountability and the governance. What is governance? Good governance, right? But looking towards that this act has not been achieved its full objects, which we can know about because it creates very systematic failures, certain impediments, and those are the things. This is very well recognized that right to information, it's very necessary, but it is not sufficient. There are certain more things to be needed. Say for example, particulars of protection of this whistleblower, then awareness to be granted to more of the matters, then the fusion of the authorities with the accountability at all the level. So these are the points which we can achieve to on a greater height to the RTI Act. So on a lastly, though there may be the certain points, there may be certain defects or the negative points, but still we should thank that this RTI Act gives us the priceless opportunity to redesign the process of the government. So this is, and I would like to end my session here. This is all about the article Right to Information Act 2005. And one thing I should tell you, right to information, but mind it, use that right in a very careful manner. So you will get the entire information in a very quick manner. Okay. Thank you so much. Good day. Jai Hind.